Hello. I think that deserves a round of applause. Hello and welcome to the 2024 Alpine Motorsports launch. I'm Rachel Brooks and I work for Sky Sports F1, and it is an absolute privilege to be here today on this very, very special day. Alpine has an illustrious history. Its DNA is embedded in motorsports. The brand was founded in 1955. It shone through the 70s with World Rally and World Endurance. And in more recent years, Alpine entered into the pinnacle of motorsports with Formula One. Now, over the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to go behind the scenes together, first in endurance and then in Formula One. And this afternoon, you will discover much more than the liveries. In this dual Formula One and World Endurance presentation, you will get a sneak peek at the actual cars today. These are not last year's cars with this year's liveries. They're the real thing, so make the most of it this afternoon. Now, 2024 is the first year of the Alpine Hypercar project. The team's been working really hard to make the final adjustments. And this A424 that you'll see in a few moments was on track in Barcelona just a few days ago. After this, it's going straight off to Qatar for the first race of the season. It's also going to be an exciting year for the BWT Alpine F1 team and its new investors, Ocho Capital, Redbird Capital Partners and Maximum Effort Investments, headlined, of course, by some familiar names and faces, as I'm sure you already know. So where better to start this presentation and to present this A524 Formula One car for you than here, the very place where it's been designed and developed. I know you're eager to see both cars and, of course, meet the drivers. So let's crack on. Alpine is one of the brands that's most engaged across all the FIA motorsport disciplines, from F1 to endurance, from single-seaters to rally and Pikes Peak, and into the virtual world, of course, of esports. Alpine is truly passionate about developing motorsports excellence. So let's have a look now at the exciting world of Alpine Motorsports. I think, yeah, definitely deserves a round of applause. Got the heart racing. It's my pleasure now to introduce to you Alpine's VP of Motorsports. Please join me in welcoming Bruno Fama. Bruno, thank you so much for joining us. Ça va?
Ça va, Rachel, ça va. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you for everyone watching live. I'm really excited and happy to be here today. It's a very special moment. As you said, we are going to unveil those cars, the lineup, and it's a very special day because it's Pierre's birthday, and happy birthday, Pierre.
Bruno, you've got a fantastic history in motorsports. I'm curious to know, though, where your love for it all began.
It started when I was a kid, really, the passion for motorsport. I had the opportunity to go to the 24 Hours of Le Mans when I was 10 years old. And then I tried to really work hard and to study engineering to go into motorsport. And the dream came true. And I won Le Mans, I won Dakar, I won Pikes Peak. And more than that, looking at the future, I'm super excited to now lead this amazing Alpine Motorsport project.
Well, Alpine is Renault Group's cutting-edge motorsports brand, and it's pronounced a new product lineup by 2030. Can you tell me how motorsports is influencing the next generation of road cars?
We are really proud to be transferring technology from the track to the road. And for that, really, for having that opportunity, I would like to thank Renault Group CEO Luca De Meo, who is here with us today. Also thanking Philippe Krief, Alpine CEO, and I'm really excited.
More exciting news. First electric car from Alpine too.
Yeah, the A290 will be the first Alpine electric car, a key milestone in the Renaulution plan and in the Alpine project.
Loads of great things ahead then. Tell us more about why Alpine is so heavily involved in motorsports in particular though.
Alpine was born from racing. Motorsport are the perfect match for us. We are really excited to bring emotion, transfer technology, and make the brand shine. Today, we will discover the hypercar A424 and the new Formula One A524. And Alpine is one of the 2 manufacturers in the world that can do this. Formula One and WEC are really complementary to develop Alpine brand awareness everywhere in the world. It's a real challenge to be at this level of competition in the 2 biggest FIA championships.
It's a big ask. It's been an exciting road for Alpine's World Endurance Programme since the A424 show car that was revealed last June. So let's check out some of the highlights and look closely because it'll be your first glimpse of the A424. I mean, it's a beauty, right? And fantastic to get a close-up look at this stunning piece of engineering. So I think it must be the perfect time then to introduce to you Alpine's endurance team manager, Philippe Sinot. Ça va?
Ça va?
Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Hello, everyone.
Alpine's entering a really competitive hypercar category at the moment. It's a car that's been developed in-house, but it's a milestone in Alpine's motorsport history. We know the competition is going to be fierce, but it's a massive moment for the team, isn't it? And for you yourself, I imagine. Tell me how it feels.
As you can imagine, we are really proud, so proud to be there with our Alpine Endurance team. First of all, I would like to thank Luca De Meo, Philippe Krief, and Bruno as well. Together, we're making this project a reality. So it's a great moment for us.
And long-standing partners back with you, Elf again as well.
Yes, one of the most faithful partners of the endurance program.
This is the culmination of many years hard work, isn't it, this project?
As you know, Alpine has a long story with Le Mans. We had some success over the 10 last year, some wins, some titles. I think we are ready now to step up for the WEC Challenge in to hypercar category.
And Bruno, if I can ask you, talking of the hypercar project, how did it all get started here?
Alpine started the hypercar project about 18 months ago. In June 2023, we presented the show car in Le Mans during the Le Mans week. And since we are running, testing, testing quite a lot because we have not much time and working hard. But it's working well, and I'm very happy and proud to have Philippe on board as the team principal of the Alpine Endurance team.
I can only imagine, Philippe, how intense your testing program has been. To go from zero to be ready for Qatar in a few weeks' time, how tough has it been?
Was really intense. With 14,000 kilometers made on the track, so many tests, night and day, wet track, dry track, long run, short runs. Long runs even up to 30 hours of endurance test. We're learning each lap. Was an amazing job done by the team.
Bruno, I imagine starting from zero, you're on a massive learning curve right now. It's a really steep learning curve for the team.
Yeah, that's right. 2024 will be really a learning season. We need to make sure the car is reliable first, and then to develop its performance within the frame of very specific technical regulations. We will go step by step, but we will compete among the grids.
The bar's pretty high, though, isn't it, in this sport?
It is. The car is new, the driver lineup is new, part of the team is new. There's a lot to do. We will remain very humble. What doesn't mean that we are not ambitious. We are we have all a racing spirit. We will push hard, and we will do our best to fight from the very first race in Qatar.
Well, speaking of drivers, you've got an impressive endurance lineup. I know everyone is eager to find out who will be in which car. So, Philippe, I believe you have some news for us.
Yes, absolutely. I am so proud to introduce you racing on the car 36, Nicolas Lapierre, Mick Schumacher, Mathieu Vaxivière, and on the car 35, Paul Duchatin, Charles Milesi, Ferdinand Asbourg, and we have a reserve driver, a newcomer, Jules Gounon. Everybody knows Jules as a fantastic GT driver. Welcome, Jules, on board.
Well, I tell you what, let's hear from them, shall we? Please give a huge warm welcome to Mick Schumacher, Nicolas Lapierre, Mathieu Vaxivière, Paul Duchatin, Ferdinand Habsburg, Charles Milesi, and Jules Gounon. It's wonderful to have you all here today alongside your car for the season ahead. Let's go a little bit deeper into it because, Nicolas, you and Philippe, you've got a long history together, 3 wins at Le Mans, many seasons together. You've developed this hypercar program together and you were the prototype test driver for it. How has it been? What does it feel like to be here now today?
Yeah, it was a great honor and a pleasure to drive and develop this A424. This development phase is now over, but that was just the beginning of our journey, and now we are going to race with it. Obviously, as Bruno says, it's going to be a learning season, but we are really looking forward to race this car in Qatar. I can tell you this car is great to drive, and I cannot wait to race in a few weeks.
Thank you, Nicolas. Now, Mick, we've followed your career from F4 through to F1. Tell us how you decided to make the move to Alpine.
Yeah, I mean, I think the move was quite clear. Obviously, the closeness to Formula One, but also just the whole new project and everybody very ambitious to get going. And it just really sparked that kind of flame in me to want to go and race here. So happy to be here, and I guess the feeling is kind of mutual.
And how have you found it so far? What are the biggest differences between this and the F1 car?
I mean, the differences are big. I mean, we're trying to essentially bring it over the line 24 hours later. So it's good and be sharing the car with 2 very experienced drivers. So I'm very, very excited for it.
Yes, more teammates for you this time than you used to.
Yeah, a few more.
And Paulo, if I can come to you. Last year you were in pole position at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. You were victorious in IMSA as well. You're joining Alpine and Philippe, who you know very well, I know. So how are you feeling right now?
Yes, thank you very much. It's an honor for me to race with Alpine and to hold this French flag, Bleu, Blanc, Rouge, as light as possible in endurance racing. I remember many years ago, Philippe and I promised together to try to race again together in the future. And today it's finally happened, so I'm really happy and proud about it. I have now more than 10 years of experience in endurance racing, so I will try to bring some of it to the team and vice versa, of course. But you know, it is a big challenge ahead for us, so we definitely have to be humble, but I'm quite confident that with mutual trust and hard work, we'll be able to face it together as a team.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sounds like they are all ready for the challenge. Philippe, perhaps you could tell us a bit more about how you decided to divide up the cars.
We made no compromise regarding the driver. We are already on the same line with Bruno about this. We choose the driver for sure regarding the level of performance, and they are all fast, it's sure. But we decide also regarding the spirit, the mind. And I can say today they are fast driver, but also clever driver.
And some natural affinities as well within those teams.
Yes, and at the end was not difficult, was an evidence for us. And I have to say a big thank you to Bruno for that.
Well, I think it's going to be an exhilarating season, and one we're wishing the whole team the very best for, starting with Qatar, of course. Please, can you give a big round of applause and a big thank you to our drivers and to Philippe. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now it is time to talk Formula One. Bruno, if we may. Promises to be a busy and intense campaign. I think we all know there are 24 races in this record-breaking season to come from March through to December. So, Bruno, I want to ask you, first of all, as team principal, what did you learn from the 2023 season?
First, we really look inwards on self-criticize ourselves, and then we identify challenges and we focus on solution. Now we are full of energy. By the end of 2023, we identified and we showed some quite improvement, and now the challenge is to generalize that across all the team.
And what changes have you implemented then for 2024?
When I became team principal in mid-2023, we really focused on the track team to take it to another step. We saw that we were already making some interesting progress, but there is still a lot of room for improvement across the whole team. And that will be my number one priority as a team principal, in addition to my role of Alpine VP Motorsport. And
you're keeping on Julian Rouse as sporting director? Stays in
Yeah, that's right. Julian did really a great job in 2023. He's a real asset, Julian, a real asset for the trackside team and for managing the Alpine Academy as well.
And some breaking news for you all. I understand there are 2 new roles as well at Enstone and Viry. What can you tell us?
Yeah, we decided to create 2 new roles, the same in Viry and in Enstone, of Chief Operating Officer, in order to manage really the day-to-day business and operations of both sides, both companies, 2 different companies. And like that, I will have more time to dedicate to my role of team principal and VP Motorsport.
Well, I wouldn't be a journalist if I didn't ask you who's got the jobs. So who are taking on those CRO roles?
Then we will have John Woods in Enstone, who will join in 1 month's time. And in Viry, we are going to have Audrey Vastrou. She's already the operation director of Viry Châtillon factory. And both of them, I'm sure, will bring a wealth of experience to the whole team Alpine Racing.
Great. Big news for the team. Now, just before we see the car, I've got one last question for you. What can you tell me about the approach that you've taken to this A524 this year?
It's bold. I'm very excited to be honest, because I think not many people have seen the car yet, and we push really hard. And thank you to Matt and all the team and everybody in Enstone and in Viry for doing that. But first, you said it, but I want to say it again, it's super important, it's the real car. It's the real 2024 car, the A524. Everything is not only a livery, then it's very important. 2024 is really a bold approach. It's a completely new car, front to back. And Matt will explain us a bit later more in detail.
All right, brilliant. Well, I know that's what you've come for. You want to see these cars unveiled. As Bruno said, it is the real car. The team have been working incredibly hard to get it ready for you to see the real thing today and not just a livery. So, shall we have a look at it? Ladies and gentlemen, I pronounce the A524. Even Pierre was getting his phone out in the front row there to take a picture of his new car for this season. It looks fantastic. You've got a striking delivery by Philippe Pantone here this year.
Yeah, that's right. This livery is unique and really impressive, thanks to artist Philippe Pantone. Really, I think it's a great masterpiece.
And you've got some new partners too.
Yeah, we are really pleased to welcome in the Alpine family H. Moser & Company, our new timekeeper and on business solver as well.
And will we see pink livery this year?
Yeah, for sure. We are going to see BWT mainly pink livery in a couple of opportunities, a bit more than a couple, in some opportunities during the year. And I would like also to thank all our loyal partners, BWT, we just mentioned them, but also BP Castrol, Shamir and Renault E-Tech.
Would you like to see the pink livery? I think we can get a sneaky peek because we've got a camera. Well, get round of applause, definitely. There is a camera. There you go. Staff at Enstone all surrounding the car right now. But we need a bit of a countdown from all of you in order to see this pink livery and get the covers taken off. So if we could have a 3, 2, 1, they'll reveal the pink livery for us. So 3, 2, 1. Let's. Two looks for the price of one. Absolutely fantastic. Let's have a look then into the A524 and delve a little bit deeper, shall we? Bruno, thank you very much for your time for the time being. I'd like to welcome to the stage the man who is behind it, the Alpine's technical director. Please welcome to the stage, Matt Harmon. It's great to see you, Matt. And as Bruno said, this has been a very bold approach. So can you talk us through the design philosophy on this car?
Thank you, and thanks everybody for being here. Before I start, I would just like to say a massive thank you to the people that you just saw on the screen, both at Enstone and at Viry. It's been, just to get this car here in the way you see, has been a massive challenge for us all and massive testament to them all. So thank you. So, starting from the front, the A523 didn't quite deliver what we wanted. We need to look at ourselves, we need to look inwards and understand what we needed to do differently. And we started that process actually originally from concept work back in week 45 of 2022, but more so after the first few races of 2023. We decided to take a very bold approach. As Bruno said, it's a brand new car from front to back. I think only the steering wheel survived. We've really tried to look at every single area of the car to make sure that we leave no stone unturned. And we give ourselves a car that can have potential through the year. We plateaued a little bit in 523, and I think with this car, I think we have that potential. If we start with the front wing, you'll see a completely new philosophy there, structurally very challenging, as they always are. But it's a front wing that will give us a good load, a good aero balance, but also a good speed, aero balance with speed characteristic, which is very important to us. It's very tricky in here. It has a homologation requirement, as we know, with the nose, and it's important that we do a good job of that, but we also do it with a good structure, with a good mass. So, that was a real good body of work done by the people at Enstone. Moving further back, we're the braking system of the car. It's very complex. It's very important with the brakes, as I'm sure you're all aware with your cars that you drive every day. It's very important to be consistent and precise. And both Esteban and Pierre really do need to be consistent and precise on the braking system. That is the first order. But after that, it's also an aerodynamic device. We need to cool the brakes, we need to cool the calipers, we need to cool the brake disc, but we also need to manage the temperature going into the tyres. And that's done by a combination of not just the blankets that you'll see on the television, but also the manner in which we let heat pass through into the carcass of the tyre. So we spend a lot of time on this, optimising that, making sure that it's aerodynamically capable and it fits with the rest of the front end of the car. The front suspension is a similar concept to we had on the A523, but it is much more optimised. The kinematics are very different. The inboard suspension is slightly changed to give us more flexibility and understanding on how we can control that. If we move further back, one of the big areas that we focused on this year was the chassis. We made sure that we squeezed every single thing that we could. We need to make sure the driver is comfortable. Esteban, don't worry, you will be comfortable in the car. It's really, really important for their ability to drive. But equally, we also need to push. We need to push the structures, and we also need to give the underbody of the car the ability to increase the flow rate through the car. And I'll talk about a little bit about that later. But fundamentally, the chassis has been designed to give us the maximum amount of volume for our aerodynamicists to express themselves freely in terms of concepts, not only for the launch car, but for the first, second, third, fourth race upgrades. As we move on further back through the car, we get to the power unit. We know the power unit is broadly homologated. That does not mean it is entirely fixed. There are a number of things that we can do to make sure that we install the power unit well into the car, making best use of all the hard work that is done by Viry-Châtillon. It's really, really important that we do that. We make a lot of calculations on how we maintain all of the work done by the engine. So, for example, we've integrated the tailpipe that exits the engine into the suspension carrier around by the transmission, basically to straighten it, to reduce the pressure drop across there, making sure that every single bit of work done by the power unit is delivered at the crankshaft and therefore at the rear wheels. We've also moved the ERS unit forward, so the battery pack, as we may call it. We've moved it rearwards, So we've moved it rearwards towards the engine to help us with that weight distribution of the car. It's quite a reasonable weight in the car, and we've moved it. It's very optimal, but it really helps when we move it in that direction. Moving rearwards, again, we sort of move into the rear suspension, the transmission side of the car. Another challenge that we always have with the racing cars is we want optimal mass. We want to be under the weight limit, but we don't want to be too far to the point where we're not using the mass to spend back into performance. So it's really important for us to optimise that, and we've done just that. We've taken a considerable amount of mass out of the transmission, which has required a lot of validation. That has been validated in line with our full car dyno, where we also had the full powertrain system with the power unit, all of the heat rejection systems in every part of the car, including the chassis. That allowed us to do well over 3,500 kilometres, which is a fantastic collaboration between the engineers at Viry and Enstone. Moving further back, we get towards the rear suspension. The inboard rear suspension has been completely revised. The outboard suspension is also the same. We've got a brand new kinematic on the rear suspension that allows us to make and take an advantage from the manner in which the car behaves under certain conditions around the track. We've also tried to make sure that we optimise it aerodynamically. We took a little bit of an aerodynamic hit for taking that kinematic, but we believe we will drive through that. We were already back to where we started, and we believe we will get far beyond as we develop the rear of the car further. As we move more to the rear wing is an area where I think we could have done better last year. There were certain tracks where we weren't as efficient as we wanted to be in terms of the downforce versus drag. Monza was one in particular. We learned from that. We designed some new things. We went to Las Vegas. We raced there. We understood some things. We included that in this car design. This year, this car, the rear wings will be matched more heavily towards each individual event, making sure that for certain types of downforce versus drag requirement, that we're more optimal, we're closer to where we want to be from an optimum lap time. Coming back round towards the rear braking systems, very, very similar to the front. Good concept, management of thermal behaviour, precision of the brakes, exactly the same as the front. Now we get onto the floor and bodywork. We all know that predominantly the floor creates an awful lot of the downforce of our car. It's a real driver for a lot of the performance upgrades that we will see. And an awful lot of the work that we've done in the centre of the car is to free up volume and space to express ourselves properly with that floor. You will also see on the edge of the floor, there's some fantastic design work gone in here. We've got some very interesting elements on the floor that allow us to make the most of the air passing over that area. And that actually is in combination with the bodywork. Now, one of the things that you can't see as I stand here right now is underneath the bodywork. And under there is what we call the internal bodywork. So there is another set of bodywork which you cannot see. And this allows us to control all of the mass flow through the car from the beginning as it enters into the sidepod all the way through to the rear. That allows us, to make sure that we optimise the cooling behaviour of the car. We were a little bit more open than we would like to have been last year. This year, we were in a much better position. That reduces the drag of the car and allows us to have an optimum lap time. We've also controlled a lot of the thermal behaviour under there. So, for example, we try not to cool the exhausts. That sounds very counterintuitive, but cooling the exhaust takes away the energy of the exhaust. Taking away the energy of the exhaust means we don't have as much power at the crank. So we try to make sure we use our air where we need it and not where we don't, like we do everywhere else on the top of the car.
An aggressive approach to this.
We've taken a very aggressive approach. I think we'll see where we are when we go to the Bahrain test. But we will be relentlessly upgrading this car, and we have an awful lot of potential to extract. We've not anywhere near achieved all of it just yet. So I look forward to it.
Great. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much, Matt. Right, shall we meet the trio of drivers who will be in the cockpit for this 24-race record-breaking season? They've been studying the car closely. Please welcome to the stage Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly and reserve driver Jack Doohan. Did you get your photo? You're going to do a selfie after, aren't you? I know you are. Esteban, great to see you. What do you think?
Hello, Rachel. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I mean, we saw it for the first time today. Obviously, it's been built completely. We saw it in drawings. We drove it a lot in the simulator. But to see it for the first time, yeah, it looks very aggressive. And yeah, this car, there's been an enormous amount of work, going on through months and months of development. And finally, very happy because, it's been a long winter, a long preparation, but we are about to get going with that launch. Everything is starting to kick off now. So, yeah, I can't wait to get started.
Joyeux anniversaire, Pierre. 28,
yes.
28 today. I mean, we could sing. Do you want us to sing for you?
No,
okay,
don't do
good.
that, please.
It's a good idea,
No,
to be fair. How's this as a birthday gift?
That's probably the best birthday gift I could have hoped for. So, no, it's amazing. I know a lot of work I've been done over the past few months. Obviously, we've been involved with Jack and Esteban in the simulator, talking with the guys. But just to see it live, I think a big round of applause for all the guys to get it here, because it's a 2024 car. I think it's the first time we get it all together. And in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be in Bahrain testing for the first time. And yeah, I'm just super excited to get going.
How was your winter, Esteban? I know you went go-karting with Zinedine Zidane. Is his go-karting better than your football, or?
No, he's actually really good. I mean, that shows, how much when you are top athlete, you are good at every sport. But no, since then, a lot have happened. We've been training, preparing as much as we can. And yeah, it's going to be a super long season, 24 races, record-breaking season in that term. So it was very important, to be healthy, to start to have a good physical level, for that whole long season. So yeah, I feel sharp, I feel ready, and yeah, from now on, it's all about eyeing, that car and looking forward to being it.
And Pierre, how was your winter? I mean, you went to an Arsenal game and they beat Liverpool. Do I need to remind you Trent's now an investor?
Yeah, I'm a big football fan. It's no surprise to anyone. But no, I mean, it was a great winter. It feels like we were in Abu Dhabi not long time ago, so we haven't had much of a break. But as Esteban said, we're coming into a record-breaking season, 24 races. It's gonna be intense. We prepared for it physically, mentally. I'm feeling in a much better place than I was 12 months ago when I came here in Enstone for the first time and met all the guys, mechanics, engineer. So no, I'm really feeling amazing, and yeah, I just want to get behind the wheel, behind that car, and really push it to the limit.
Jack, we've seen you enjoying your winter as well, taking on a triathlon.
Yeah, luckily my winter was a summer, so I've been a little bit warmer. It's been a bit of a shock coming back the last few days, hence why I have a big head full of hair. Usually it's shaved, so now I brought some warmth with me, but yeah, you know, I'm not racing this year, so I wanted to still put myself into that sort of environment and throw myself in the deep end. But no, I'm still, you know, heavily involved with the team. Another year as reserve driver, spending a lot of time in the simulator, which will be, you know, extremely beneficial for me. Also then joining the guys on track, knowing exactly how they're feeling and really where we're heading into the weekend. So that will be good, as well with, you know, an extensive testing program in the 2022 and 23 car. So 21 and 22 car, sorry. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the year ahead.
And Esteban, it's your 5th year with the team. Can you set yourself some ambitions and targets for this year, this early on?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, you know, to be continuing the work with the team, with the brand. You know, I've been part of this team for a very long time now. You know, as someone was saying, when I arrived, I was, a lot smaller.
Were you ever that high? I can't imagine you ever being that high.
It sounds like a long time ago, and it was. You know, I joined this team when I was 12 or 13 years old, so yeah, it's more than 10 years, and it's incredible to be continuing and racing in Formula One in the best cars in the world. So yeah, I can't wait to get going. The aim for me is obviously to extract the maximum out of the car every single time. We have a big task, you know, to improve and progress, you know, throughout the year. But yeah, the important is for me that task, you know, to end the season, have no regret, and be happy with what we've done.
And Pierre, 2nd year with the team, as you said, a couple of trophies last season. What are the targets for this year?
Well, hopefully, definitely more trophies coming this year. But no, I think as we said, you know, we came with a bold car, aggressive strategy. We know there's a lot of work ahead of us, but no, definitely ready for it. 2nd year with the team, so definitely feel like there's even more potential to unlock. And yeah, excited to get going. Teamwork, we know where we want to be. We want to see the team at the top, and that's where I want to be as well. And yeah, we'll work for that.
And Jack, I know you're not racing this, you don't have a racing program of your own this year. How will you stay sharp? And is this the new aero version? Because you had a shaved head last time we saw you.
Yeah, this is the new.
This is aero development,
this
is it?
quicker. Yeah, you know, we redesigned the car, redesigned my hair. So no, going all in for 2024. Like I said, you know, I think I have 10 days in the car this year and previous generations, which will be amazing. You know, just super grateful, obviously, to Alpine and everyone here at the factory, both here in Viri, and for the trust they have behind me to put this testing program towards. And you know, also doing race support, like I said, in the simulator on all the Fridays, which will be extremely valuable for me myself, but also to have, you know, another race driver, you know, in the simulator as well, handing back to the team. So I look forward to staying sharp even though I'm not racing.
Well, I've mentioned 24 race season, as you reminded me earlier, though, Esteban. It's 30, really, because you've got 6 sprint weekends. Any of them stand out for you as you look ahead to that calendar?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, every year, you know, I got a couple of favorite circuits. You know, Suzuka, Budapest are definitely the ones that stands out for me. You know, really, you know, cool flow, and the Formula One car really comes alive, you know, in those times when you go through those circuits, you know, really high grip, cool places. And yeah, I can't wait to be sitting in that and experience that in those places.
And which race are you looking forward to taking this one around?
To start the first one, and then the second, and the third. I mean, every race is going to be, you know, we're going to come with the same mentality and try to deliver the best job we can. Yeah, as you say, 30 races, there are going to be a lot of opportunities. We know we'll have to work hard at the start and see where we stand in Bahrain at the first test of the season. But it's going to be a long season. They're going to be great chances, and yeah, we'll make sure we're there to get them.
Not long to go, just a couple of weeks until the car's on track. Thank you very much to Esteban, to Pierre, and to Jack. And that concludes this, I think so. I think a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes the Alpine 2024 Motorsports launch. We've heard from drivers across World Endurance, Formula One, and we've seen the real machines today. They're ready to take on a very busy global campaign. 2024 has definitely started, and we're very excited to see what Alpine Motorsports can achieve. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you to you wherever you are watching this from. It's been a pleasure to have you along, and we will see you on track very soon. Bye-bye.